Hi, everybody. I'm back again, and I have some new sound equipment I'm testing out too. So we'll see how echoey this sounds compared to my other videos. Um, I sound more echoey to myself, but we'll see. I know I've got a nice little sound absorbing thing here in front of me. Um, I wanted to talk to you today about when leaders lock horns and when organizations lock horns. And this can happen between organizations. It especially can happen within organizations and prevent flow, prevent productivity, prevent clarity, prevent from accomplishing the mission of the business, and from it can interfere with having a bigger vision for the business, having a clear vision of the business. And so I talk about this specifically when your heroics and your desires are at odds with each other. And I've come to this whole system through treating the vagus nerve in people's bodies and treating it as a pinched nerve and decompressing these points. And what I've learned in having a practice where I end up treating a lot of high powered people and big influencers themselves is that these same stories that have been happening inside of their bodies are happening in their businesses, and they're happening in their personal lives. And when you treat the physical body or the physical problem, sometimes the story changes. And that physical problem can be the physical problem within the organization. But you really have to treat the story. When you treat the story, the physical situation always changes. And I want to dive in a little bit more or maybe a lot for some of you, more metaphysically to talk about this, because this is really how I love to talk about it, even though I'm fully capable of distilling it down to just those basic concepts about heroics being at odds with desires. If our ventricles in our brain that make cerebral spinal fluid look very much like the ram's horns in Aries. And in astrology, Aries rules the head. And the way our hyoid bone in our throat sits on top of our larynx looks very much like the symbol for Taurus, and Taurus rules the throat. And mythology, among many things, was a mode of communicating scientific information. And so anatomy is coded into a lot of these stories. I believe that a lot of older myths, ancient myths, tell the story of our physical anatomy and give us clues as to the types of stressors in our lives that contribute to dysfunction in those areas. And so we have a ram in our head and a bull in our throats. And when our ram and our bull lock horns, it can be very messy. On a physical level, it will contribute to neck pain and headaches at the very least, sometimes vision issues, dizziness. On a corporate level, it also interferes with vision because that business can't turn its head to see the whole picture. It will very much have its neck locked up. It interferes with the ability to be on your axis, to be centered. Our vagus nerves come out of the base of our skull 23.5 degrees from the center of where our spinal cord comes out. And the earth is at a 23.5 degree tilt. So when I've worked with people's physical bodies like this, and I know other practitioners that know how to decompress the vagus nerve at that level as well, it is overwhelmingly like putting someone back on their axis. And so when our horns are locked, literally or metaphorically or energetically, it keeps us from being able to turn our head and to see the landscape, to scan for what's coming. And so we can get blindsided by certain things, and that certainly can happen in business. And it can happen with leaders, and specifically, like, good leadership is about being able to see the horizon and see the big picture. And when your horns are locked up with each other, that can't happen. Thank you for listening. If you have questions, please email me, ask@melanieweiler.com. I'm getting my website updated with all of this stuff to reflect it more clearly. So there'll be a lot more about this to come. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for those of you watching on YouTube. Like me on Facebook for those of you watching there. And let me know what questions you have about leadership issues and struggles that you're having in your business, because I would love to answer them and show you how you can apply this compression point system that I've developed to that, to open things up for you.